Welcome everybody to Modular World. My name is John O'Wells, and I gotta say, sometimes I've got this like excited nervousness. Not nervous to do the show, I'm fine, but there's like a nervous excitement, and today I just feel calm, man. Cool and calm. All right. Let's get to it. There's so much to talk about and cover, and I could start the show with like 10 minutes of yabber. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to space the yabber over the whole show instead of a big pre-yabber. All right, here we go. The pre-show music that you were listening to, and I'm also going to play it on the way out, is the first EP by Plush Elder Gods called Machine Lullabies. And it's released on Bandcamp on April 8. So this is not released yet as the first time that these tracks have been publicly shared. Thank you for that. And there is a link in the description to Plush Elder Gods Bandcamp. I would suggest, not right now because you don't want to leave the show, but after show, clicking on that link and following so that you know when that album is released. You'll get the little ding. All right. Supporting independent artists, as you all know, is just top of what I'm interested in doing. So I'll always be doing that on this show, talking about new releases. And speaking of projects to support, I'm going to touch on this a few times in the show for people who show up late or people who watch afterwards or at the end. Anyway, I'm going to start it now first. Talk about important stuff. Okay. Here. All right. So this is a new compilation, which is titled Volya, Sounds for Freedom. This is a new project from our friends in North Wales, Modulate TV. And the title Volya is the Ukrainian word for will and freedom. And the Cyrillic letters appear, although hidden, in the Ukrainian trident coat of arms. So there's 25 tracks for this fundraiser for Ukraine. There's definitely something for everyone, and every penny raised goes to charity and support of the efforts in Ukraine. So this was originally conceived by Paul Alty, Waxapole, who approached Modulate to put out an album to support Ukraine. It was released this Friday, and their goal is to raise £1,000, the British pound. And they have already raised 600. So if you think about the power of a community and people, if every one of you went and supported this today, they'd meet their goal. I mean, they are considering putting out a volume 2 if there's enough interest. And again, links below for the whole show. If you're interested in participating in a volume 2, Rob Etch-a-Sketch, Rob Dixon, Modulate, has his email down at the bottom, down in our description. And there's a link to the Bandcamp page. I assume, don't text me during the show. All right. Phone on mute. Sorry. Amateur. I do assume that everybody knows what Bandcamp is and is into it and gets it. But I'm reminded occasionally that not everybody is. So we'll just say quickly, it's like Spotify, only that you can actually support and buy albums of artists that you like. I'm sure that you all know that for us to make any money on Spotify, we'd need millions of streams, and then we'd make $1. So, full disclosure, none of us are getting rich off Bandcamp, but I do think that we do have a built-in community. If you release something, you have to allow people to love on you and support your albums and your artistic releases, and yeah, that's what Bandcamp is. Okay. All right. Let's get the show going. Never before, I'm almost sure. Here, let me take off the album cover. Never before on Modular World has it been artists all from the United States. It's called Modular World. But sometimes it's just how it happens. And this show is unique. And, every show that I have, we have a group chat the week before where I'm dropping all the promos and everybody's helping with the promotion and posting and all that. And so we have a group chat on Instagram every show. And every time there's a different culture, a different vibe in the chat. And man, this week it was just so alive. We have a bunch of comedians, really funny, great group. Friendships were made. All right, let's move on. More announcements to come, and I will tease that there's a huge announcement coming up in this show. Huge announcement coming up. Let's start the show off with our friend Corey Sterling, who performs as Red Stripe Down. Corey Sterling is an electronic music producer and sound designer based in Chicago, Illinois. After attending Berklee College of Music in Boston, Corey moved to New York City, where he fell in love with electronic music and hardware production. His personal discovery of the modular synthesizer has culminated in the creation of a unique musical voice in the electronic community. Using a variety of drum machines, samplers, and synths, Corey weaves subtle rhythms and soft melodies together to form long, evolving grooves and textures. He currently teaches synthesis and performs regularly in the Chicago area. I've been waiting to have Corey on the show. This is big. Red Stripe Down. Corey. Yeah.
What's up, Jono?
I'm just so glad to have you on the show, man.
Thank you so much for having me.
It should have happened by now, but there's just, it's just timing and everything.
Hey, it happened eventually, and that's all that
Well,
really matters.
it's all that matters. It's just great to have you, man. I always love your videos out those windows. It's such a great little perch.
I think that's been a staple of mine for a long time. I think I just need the natural light.
Yeah.
It feels nice to create in a place where I can see that other life is happening outside of my bubble of a room.
I wonder how that would change what I'm doing, because I'm like in a cave and I don't have like yeah, it's funny. But I've gotten used to it, but I think about that, like what's going on outside, and it's just not part of my process.
Gotcha.
It's like locked out. It also looks really cold out that window.
Yeah, Chicago is a cold place.
Yeah.
And actually today is not so bad. It's a little warmer out today, but it's a challenge as we go into spring, and it continues to be.
Yeah,
it snowed 2 days ago. It continues to be just cold and bitter, and at some point you just think that this is never going to end.
Right.
It always does, of course, but there's a few weeks where you just panic and think that maybe we are entering into some kind of an ice age.
Well, growing up in Michigan, there was that like,
oh yeah,
it seemed like there was that like gray sky that was like never going to end. We're deep into April and it was still black sky, and I was like, dude, I'm going to put a gun in my mouth.
Yeah, you had the right idea going to California.
Well, yes.
Until you guys break off into the ocean, and then I don't know what's going to happen.
Oh, come on.
I'm just playing.
Come on. All right. Hey, talk to us about setting up a performance like this. Like, you got a lot going on. You got an F key taped down. Like, what's going on here?
Oh yeah, I saw that in the comments.
From Thierry, yeah.
Yeah, well, essentially, I needed kind of a drone note, and
right.
I only have 2 arms. And since there's not an infinite decay or release on that envelope on the Moog, I just had to go old school and get some tape out and just tape it down, and then use that filter.
Do you see?
That's old school tricks.
Yeah, come on. This is easy stuff. We just don't think about doing this. It's beautiful.
Yeah, this patch actually came together pretty quickly. The rig was kind of in use for a series of other projects right before this, and I had a couple days to get this to you. So I kind of had to unpatch everything and start from scratch, and that's always different. That's an open bag. Where do you start when you have so many possibilities? Originally, I wanted this to be purely modular without anything else in it, given that it was modular world. But
no, come on.
My habits got the best of me, and I realized that for things like drums and samples and the amount of patching and cables and modules and all the stuff that go into just creating sometimes simple textures is just too much. So having some other outboard gear that can interact and be synced with the modular and be part of that voice. For instance, I'm running a lot of drums through the modular system, specifically through things like the qubit data bender and high pass filters, and trying to get some modular influence on the tracks that are coming from the drum machines, like the Digitact and the Analog 4 and things like that. So they're connected and they're synced, but it is nice to bring in tools that are specified for specific jobs.
Absolutely.
So it just kind of started, and I was just playing around, and then all of a sudden you kind of end up in a place, you hit record, and you just kind of hope for the best.
Balance.Spring wrote like something about cozy beats, and I was like, man, that's just so well said. Was it Balance.Spring? He said something about cozy beats, and I was like, man, like I can feel the cold outside. Yeah, it's like cold outside. We got cozy beats inside.
Yeah,
just saying.
Most of my beats are typically pretty mellow, and I like things that are a little bit more down tempo too. I don't, I'm not a classic rave guy. I'm not going to hit you with 1,000 beats per minute and drive it down your throat. I really appreciate the dynamics
Yeah.
and subtleties that you can get out of a modular system if you can coax it correctly.
Yeah. Well, dynamics is the game. Like the more that I look back at the stuff I was doing, like when I first started, I'm just like, man, there's no silence, there's no space in between notes. It's just like ideas pummeling for the whole time. And it does take time and some real restraint to like let something breathe and to just chill for a minute and to remember that, like we can let it go.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It's actually an instrument that I feel is kind of naturally conducive to that. When you're patching, from the time that you start putting cables into holes and you end up with an idea, there's a lot of thought, there's a lot of time, there's a lot of patience that you put into it. So, if you can reflect that in the music itself, I think that just gives it a lot of life and a lot of depth. It's well amazing said. How effective just dynamic differences can make a patch. I mean, this is the same idea for 5 minutes straight. It's kind of just bringing little things in and out and having subtle changes and slight dips and peaks and dynamics. And I think that can take you a lot further than you think.
Yeah. Well said. God, what wisdom from this guy. You're absolutely right. No, it's really, really well said. Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you.
Oh, my friend. Okay, what's next for you? What's going on?
I've got some fun stuff coming up. I've been working with Electron a lot, and there might be some new things coming out relatively soon. So I've got some big projects going on with them, and I can't speak too much about that at the moment. But in the next few weeks, there will be lots of releases and videos and music and all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
So that's immediately next. And then beyond that, I don't know. Maybe we'll see you here again in the next couple months or something if you have an opening.
Well, there's something coming up. Maybe I should talk about that now. I don't know.
Uh-oh.
All right. Okay. Maybe. Thanks for this, man. It's just great to have you.
Thank you, Jono, and thank you everybody who's tuning in.
Yeah.
The modular community is just the synthesis community, whatever. Everybody's awesome and so supportive and wonderful to each other. It is such a pleasure to hang out and take a Sunday and listen to some rad music and talk to some rad folks.
I agree. It's just my favorite thing.
Totally. Thank you for doing this, Jono.
Yeah, man. Much love.
Much love.
Oh, man. Awesome. Red stripe down right there. All right, Corey. Just as a reminder to people who might be new to the show, yes, we're modular centric, but never exclusive. Hybrid setups, different instrumentations. Lots of us are lifelong instrumentalists, multi-instrumentalists. So this is about making music and the community which you see in this chat right now. If you're watching the show and are not logged in to your Google account and want to join us in the chat, please do that. Introduce yourself. Come on in. I see that 87 people is what Google accounts are logged in, but there's 148 watching. Why don't you come on in and join us? Say hi. Join in the chat. Let's release one other little tidbit of information. Okay? Are you ready? I should have prepared a drum roll or graphics or something exploding, but we're just gonna say it. The second anniversary of Modular World is coming up. So, I've been asked for months, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You got to outdo what you did last year. And, truth be told, I almost put myself in the hospital last year. No, that's an exaggeration, but I did almost have a nervous breakdown. Still an exaggeration, but it was too much. And, so what I've cooked up for this year is on May 14 and 15, which is a Saturday and a Sunday, we're going to have the second anniversary show. And what I'm doing to make it easier on myself to make it through is that I'm not going to interview everybody and I'm not going to go overnight. But the main difference, are you ready? Is that it's going to be an open call. So last year, everybody who played was handpicked, and I curated this big 34-hour stream. But this year, it's an open call. If you played last year and want to play again, awesome. If you're new to the community and you're like, dude, I want to be on the anniversary show, great. If you wanted to play last year and didn't, come on, here's your time. So today, after the show, I'm going to release the form where you can sign up. Second anniversary show just got announced. I can't believe it. So I think I'm going to take about 130 before I close it off. I can deal with that. That's like 2 12-hour days. 10-minute sets. Sign-up's going to start today. Okay? Moving along. Next up is Fei Fei Wang, who performs as Black Potion. Here we go. Fei Fei, a.k.a. Black Potion, is a DJ and live performer working with harsh industrial rhythms, EBM, and techno. Her interest in connecting like-minded artists led her to organizing and performing in various events around Beijing, China. She's performed at various venues across China, opening for Drum Code when she was 17. Hello. She moved to Boston and now has a residency at Infra Boston and is currently studying electronic music production and design at Berklee College of Music. She's also into DIY modular and circuit bending, classic toys, and Casio machines from the 80s and 90s. She enjoys experimenting with soundscapes, dark ambient, different synthesis techniques, and combines both analog and digital technologies. She's 23 and she hates the sun. My friends, this is Black Potion. my
Okay.
God. Fuck yeah. Dude, Faye, you just completely took the house down.
Thank you.
Awesome. God, I love seeing everybody dig it too. So rad.
Oh my god, my face is like, what am I doing? Okay.
I'm like really pumped. That was just killer.
Yeah.
I wanted to get up and dance, and believe me, the brother doesn't dance anymore.
Oh
Oh my
my god, I
God.
see me. Okay.
Well, I mean, if I was at like some cool dark rave, I'd be at least in the back kind of pretending to fat old guy dance.
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
see.
God. Lovely, lovely. Um, so God, I don't know where to start. Like talk to us about how you build out something like this.
I was like, because I study in Berkeley or something, I was like, not sure. Maybe it's like between academic and chaotic, I guess. So I'm like, I cannot say that like I'm like the best like technical person I since, but I mean, like, I just listen and I just do what I want.
Yeah.
Like, I won't be like, oh, I use this filter, this envelope, this oscillator. It was like, well, does it really matter? And yeah.
No, it doesn't. Especially when it just so naturally comes out of you like this. It's just like it's a pleasure to witness.
Yeah, I don't know.
But there's a lot to be said for what you're saying of like over analyzing and over academic versus just letting it rip, you know?
I feel like sometimes, like, my professor and whatever, like, the people is like, oh, how you do this? I was like, you know what? I'm not really sure. It's like, I just go with the feel sometimes.
Well, you've clearly got a feel, you know,
Yeah.
for sure. What's on the horizon for you? Are you gonna release something soon? Are you giving us something?
Yeah, there is a Portugal label. It's like an industrial techno label. Want me to release on their saying on September, but I haven't released much yet because I was like kind of always like perfection. I was like, oh, I need to be perfect, but perfect don't exist.
No, no,
So
that's a big waste of your
yeah,
time.
yeah.
So,
And also, I kind of realized that oh, I'm not making music for like audio snobs. Like even though like all these stuff I learned is great, but it's like all the people like you listen to your music, they're not like sound designer or like whatever. So I try to not think like the EQ too important now.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Are you taking this stuff out live in Boston?
Yeah, actually, playing in Providence or something, there's like a festival called Mayday. So they asked me to play live or something, but damn, I was like, I haven't actually played live yet. So it's like, there's a lot to prepare. Like, more is like DJ set right now. Uh, I opened for Park on December, so it's like another gig is coming. So yeah, I like
Yeah.
DJing. DJing is like fun.
What about combining DJing and some of this?
Yeah, I was thinking to do like hybrid set. Like for example, you use some like a push, but I just sold my Ableton push. But yeah, maybe some native instrument stuff. But like I kind of like to separate DJ from live.
The new machine from Native Instruments is cool because there's no laptop needed anymore.
That's like a native instrument tractor. I say was my first ever
Mm-mm.
gear purchase.
Mm-hmm.
I was started as a DJ, then I can find out, oh, I can load my own stamps I produce in like S8. So I was like, oh, and then I got into like production more and more. Yeah.
Yeah, Tractor's so fun. I had a little dance with Tractor a couple years ago. What fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
guess so.
Hey, are you here to stay? Or when you're done
No,
in
I'm
Berkeley, you're going
thinking to
back?
like move to California, like LA to
Mm,
find like cause like my minor is like video game sound design.
mm,
So
mm.
maybe some like video game company, but recently I'm using like Unity is like I kind of don't like it because I need to like script it, like learn C++. plus plus. I was like, oh.
This stuff hurts your brain.
Yeah, I'm kind of allergic to code.
Oh,
So
God, I'm with you. I'm totally with you. Yeah.
yeah.
We have a lot of friends out here who are doing video game work and doing a lot of that work. When you're ready to come out, man, please make sure that I know.
Yeah, please. That would be like nice actually.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And then maybe I think it's better to work at like a modular company or something, but I don't know how to because I'm not like a electrical engineer, so yeah, I just solder stuff and do some sound design.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so happy for you, and I'd love to be at your live, at your first modular live show. Man, oh man.
Thank you.
Be the old guy in the back,
Yeah.
pretending I was cool for a minute. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much. I met you on the punk rock show when you played on that.
Yeah, I
And,
was like surprised. Like, how did you find me? I was like, wow, okay.
I saw you on Instagram, and then I was just
Yeah.
like, yes, 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 yes. And
Okay.
I told you that I had this show coming up that I wanted you to be on, and then we got you on this. It's awesome.
Yeah, it would be cool
Welcome
to
to the
do the
family.
anniversary show. Yeah.
Okay, well, please sign up on that. I'd love to have you on it.
Okay. Yeah. Sure.
Whatever you want to do, as always.
Yeah. I can do like anytime. It's fine. Yeah.
All right, my sister. I'm so glad to know you and have you as part of this family. It's just great.
Yeah.
Welcome. All right, Black Potion right here.
Okay. Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
All right, off she goes.
Okay.
Oh man, yeah, that was awesome. All right, man, we're just gonna keep it going. I can't stop. It's so good. This show is so good. Okay. Next up is my SoCal sister Delfina Herrera, who might have the coolest name ever. She performs as Hynadelux. She's an LA native, and she works in the motion picture and television industry as a costumer. Very, very cool job. We should probably ask her about that. She's a former bassist and occasional poet who's found the most pure way of self-expression through the art of synthesis. Yes. Sparked by the musical brilliance of both Lisa Belladonna and Merzbow and the synth community at large. She decided to enter the endless abyss of modular, hybrid, and semi-modular sound exploration, and is always discovering and learning. She's constantly surprised and in complete awe of the sonic space in which we all exist. Man, I wish I could write words like that. Well done. Here is Hynadelux. Delphina, right here. Right here. Yes. Hynadelux. Man, thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
You know, I've always liked our little chats when I've seen you in public, in actual real person.
Right.
Yeah. So we have to have you down when live shows start up here.
Yeah, because you asked me the one live show, but I wasn't up to it.
What, you mean for Modular on the Spot?
No, it was in Fullerton. It was a Fullerton
Oh,
show.
that one. But
right. I did go.
Yeah.
I did go.
Yeah, that's where I saw you last.
Yeah. Because it's
that was
still
a fun night. Yeah.
Yeah, that was good.
That was Travarsi's show. Yeah.
Yeah, and I missed her. And then I missed, because I got there a little late, and then I missed Space Racer. But I love them both. I think they're both amazing.
So, speaking of them, we've gotten to know you because of the Frequency Shift shows that they've put on.
Yeah.
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 Your
My
Frequency
first show.
Shift like alumna.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a cool show too.
Well, she's in the chat. I'm sure that she's going to get something going again. Travarsi, what's the plan? What's the plan, Stan? We'll get something going. I mean, we're definitely due for a Frequency Shift show.
Yeah.
So, you and I talked about the Lyra a little bit. Thank you for your push for me to get one. And you had said like as soon as you got it, you were like in love, and I'm like, man, I feel the same way.
It's my never sell. It's my favorite, and I've never recorded anything with it or even used it on anything. I just sit with it a lot and have a conversation, because that's kind of what it is to me. Just this whole art form in general. It's like learning a new language, especially modular. So when I'm doing it, it's just having a conversation with the machine and with myself and seeing where it goes. It's that freedom.
I mean, that's what it sounds like. That's what it looks like, is that it's just completely freedom of expression. It's just lovely.
Thank you.
I feel like I'm always trying too hard. Really, to like do something, or there's, I'm fighting like intention versus this kind of freedom. And it's just like, man, you seem really free with it. It's very enviable.
Oh, well. I just do whatever I'm feeling. To me, it's like sound collage, so I don't even know what's going to go with what. I just threw that in there. Sometimes I'll take out an old Novation. I have like an X station or something, and I'll pair that with something and see where that goes. I just like pairing different things with other things and seeing what happens. I think on Frequency Shift, it was all modular, and I hadn't even been doing modular for a long time, but I felt like that's what I had to do at that time. So it's just kind of whatever I'm feeling, in the moment.
Was the Frequency Shift one, it was the outdoors, right? It was like you were outdoors in the sun? Or am I thinking of something else?
I was here. Yeah, I was here.
What am I thinking of? Doesn't matter. Yeah. So when you build something like this, you're just like, walk us through some of what you chose and why you chose it and how it worked.
Well, for the modular, the drum, the beat thing, later I was like, man, that sounds a little bit like When Doves Cry. The Prince beat. But I'm a huge Prince fan.
Me too.
So instead of, I like a lot of effects. So that's just paths running through clouds and then going to endorphins, Milky Way. So there's that. And then I have an original clavis twin waves doing that weird when I'm pushing the button, going through the cutting room of recovery. So mostly that I was using that as an effect. And then the Lyra, it was just kind of like your background. I call it the muzak of the piece.
Yeah.
But I love that machine so much because I'm a tactile person. Menu diving for me, so I can't get into it. Maybe one day I will. But anything that has sliders and buttons and things is my jam. I just love turning and sliding and fiddling with stuff.
Totally with you. Yeah.
And then I threw in the micro granny sample because I love granular synthesis. So anytime I can manipulate a sound, that's the piano sound. It's just a sample. And at the end, it gets destroyed. That's what I wanted to do.
What's up on the right? Those pedals. Was that the mood?
No, it's the astral destiny from. It's the micro granny, and between that's the astral destiny from. What is it?
Doesn't matter. Who cares?
Everyone knows this. Earthquaker.
Oh yeah. Okay, right.
So yeah, that's that.
So how do you balance like freedom of expression and like being a gear nut? Like, because we can all get like too obsessed with what's new, what's next versus like what you have and like just making
Yeah,
sounds.
that's why I don't have a wall of modular, because I feel like if I had a wall of modular, I'd get lost and I'd probably lose interest. I kind of try and stay focused, so I force myself to be creative with what I have, because I only have 84 HP, so I'll just switch things in and out. Like I'll take out a module and put one in, and that keeps me creative. I like to be forced to create with
Yeah.
a small amount of things, especially since I'm still learning a lot of them. But man, I really do. My heart starts beating fast when I see a wall of modular.
Yeah.
I go, oh my God, I'm in complete awe.
Yeah,
And,
but you're right. It's also overwhelming and kind of like,
yeah,
I definitely have more than I use, and it's kind of, I feel ashamed even talking like this, like it's a problem, because it's obviously such a a, a blessing also. But
yeah,
yeah, it's the smaller I'm working. I totally agree.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Are you gonna release something? Like, are you gonna give us something?
I don't, I have a SoundCloud and it's all stream of consciousness stuff. There's no multi-tracking. It's kind of cool. I like to call my
You don't need
sounds
that.
sad noise.
Okay.
Sad. Um, but I don't know, Bandcamp maybe eventually. I never really think about it. I'm all about the process. I never really think about the result. To me, the enjoyment's in just doing it. That's what I just love. I just love when I'm doing it. So maybe eventually I'll think about that. Definitely.
I mean, just seed for thought is that if multi-tracking and that is kind of the thing that's keeping you back, yeah, just don't multi-track. Just go straight out stereo and call it done. I've done that many, many, many times.
Oh, cool.
Where just when I was done, and that was it.
Okay.
Could I have done it better? Sure. I don't know. Who cares?
Yeah, that's a good attitude to have. And shout out Lisa Belladonna, who's a friend and been very supportive.
Absolutely.
She's amazing.
Yeah,
she's
and
probably
a
one of the
wonderful
most
human
talented human beings breathing right now.
Yeah, no, she's like national treasure kind of level. Yeah.
Oh, totally.
Yeah,
She's been super supportive. We just exchange poetry and we talk music here and there, but she's rad. She's really cool.
That's so cool. I really look forward to hanging out with you again in real life. It'll be good.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're awesome. Thanks so much. Okay, my friends, I'm moving on. Here is Hynadelux. Thank you so much, man.
All right, peace out.
Yeah, she's awesome. All right. Let's talk about another point that I wanted to cover on this show that I saved from the beginning so we could get moving. This is a really interesting project that's out there going on, and I just want you to know about it. There's a label collective project out of Germany called Renatura. All right, it's a musicians community focusing on the natural world, and their second thematic compilation is about patterns in nature. And in an open call, they are looking for your sonic take on nature's geometry. And if you'd like to be part of an interesting project like this, the form to sign up is underneath in the description. And really, really interesting project. And I've talked with Gregor Dees, who was on this show recently for one of the Patch Challenge shows. Nice guy. And he wanted me to talk about this, and I looked into it, and it's really, really interesting. All their socials are below also, and most definitely worth checking out. All right. One other announcement is that next week, a week from today, is Spotlight on Belgium show. And our dear friend in the chat, Jerome Mardaga, aka Tamil, has curated this show for us. And I don't usually have 2 Modular World shows in a month, and I don't think I've ever had them back-to-back weekends. But with other stuff happening in April, with family and Easter, etc., it is next Sunday, Spotlight on Belgium, curated by our friend and brother, Jerome Mardaga. So Tamil's playing, and I can tell you that the videos I've gotten are amazing, and the scene in Belgium is spot on. So next Sunday, Spotlight on Belgium. Promos will start tomorrow. You'll start seeing it. All right. Ooh, I'm excited for this next one. Another frequency shift sister. You know what? I got a little fun little tidbit about tangent universes. So I was in DC this past summer, and with family, and I played Patrick's Modular on the Mall show. And I'm there setting up, sweating like a big white guy, and she walks up, Jono? I'm like, yes. Oh yeah, Shonda told me to say hi to you and make sure I met you. Okay, cool. And we talked, and she looks at me with these eyes of pity and is like, would you like a drink? Because I was there earlier, in the day helping Patrick set up speakers and setting the show. And I'm sure I looked like I was like going to expire or die. She's like, she hands me this like sparkling water, and it's like rhubarb and like thyme or something. It was like the nicest hippie beverage I've like ever drank. I was just like, I like you. And she and I have been talking the whole time, and I'm just so happy to have her on the show. And a frequency shift alumna. Thank you, Travarsi. All right, here we go. Tangent Universes is Carol Snow. And Carol started playing guitar and synths when she turned 40. She describes a childhood that didn't leave room for music or self-expression. So all the things that people get to figure out as teenagers and 20-somethings, she's finally coming around to. She needed a way to escape inside her house during the pandemic, so she built out her attic and started making music. The performance for today is based on a Tony Hoagland poem called Personal, and the lines, I believe in saying everything and taking it all back, has kind of been a mantra for her in these trying times. She believes you have to spill your heart and guts because time is precious, and it's important to tell people they matter so much. She has a special love for the make noise strega and says she has no workflow or any real knowledge of how to play these instruments. She cites a story that she read once about the Athens band Pylon, which influenced Athens band REM and the B-52s, and they didn't know how to play their instruments either, and of course, they made great music. She's well-read and a great conversationalist, and would like to be someone who makes disco, noise, experimental, and blues. And she says, give me all the genres. I love it. Another side note, she has a brand new Bandcamp link that she just started. It's listed below. And the first track, which she posted on it, is just a real pleasure to listen to. Please give a very warm welcome to Tangent Universes. Oh man, I could just sit in that all day. I could just like sit in a bathtub of that. Thank you so much.
Thanks, John.
Well, I mean, you and I talked about our shared love for shoegaze, and I was like, oh, please do something with guitar. I always love what you do with guitar. And man, oh man, oh man. This will not be forgotten, I don't think, on this show.
Thanks.
And now, before we talk tech stuff, you do have the rare, I mean, you have a really rare synth, which you work with a lot.
Oh, yeah.
It's-
Typically, when I'm drafting out ideas, I did not go to Berkeley, but I try to work with that same rigidity.
Sure,
And
absolutely.
I start with this. And, actually, I record everything with this. There's quadraphonic, but then there's this.
Right.
Yeah.
And you multi-track with that.
It definitely has yeah, sure, we multi-track.
There's a lot of CV inputs and outputs on that.
I like the simplicity of it. Record,
God.
play. I said I like all the genres, so you can see there's techno, disco,
There's all the genre
rock,
buttons
blues.
are right there. Yeah.
It makes it easy. I'm actually just about to sell all of my modular equipment and just really become minimalist, this and hand percussion. So
I see it. I hear it. This girl. Okay. Our conversations have been just this girl's sense of humor. Oh my God. She's ruling our group chat this week. Amazing. So, man, I'm so glad to have you on. I saw you in DC, and then I saw you on the Frequency Shift shows. Yeah, this is good. And you've got your brand new Bandcamp page, which you're for sure going to start putting music out on, right? I mean, His Quiet says like, wait, what did they say? It's like, I demand an album of this or something like that. Okay.
I have a demand for His Quiet. I demand His Quiet play Modular World.
Yeah.
Very soon.
Yeah. So there's somebody I followed, and you've been on my radar, His Quiet, and it's maybe time to take our relationship to the next level.
His Quiet has a theremin, so out of this world. They are killing it.
Well, that'd be the second time on the show with a theremin. Or no. Gunnar did it too. So third time. Yes. Always welcome theremin. All right. Let's get serious here. Come on.
All right.
Combining the guitar and vocals with modular. Yes. Please talk to us.
I can tell you a little bit about the piece this week because
Great.
you know how you circle back to some things or something captures you for the week. I was wondering whatever happened to Richard Ashcroft of The Verb.
Oh man, so good.
And so I'm older, and that album was kind of a high school soundtrack for me, Urban Hymns. So I was like, yeah, I love space and time, but also a big Sonic Youth fan. So I was usually listening to Kim Gordon's release, notably Paprika Pony, and then kind of this third wave. I discovered an artist who had actually been around for like 25 years, but I didn't know they existed until last year. His name is Fred Thomas, and he's on the Polyvinyl label. But he does these like spoken word poems, and that's not typically what he does, but it's something he's done recently. And I had read an article where he's exploring themes of being very bitter. So there's this great spoken word poem by Fred Thomas that's up on wherever you stream music called House Show Late December. And it's about going to a noise show at a house in deep winter in Michigan. And it just tells such a good visceral story that was relatable. So I think that all kind of melded, and I thought I would try this. And I'm also just loving being a new guitar player. I always had like an acoustic guitar that I've played very badly since I was a kid. But the electric guitar was my 40th birthday gift to myself. And
God, what a gorgeous machine. I mean, that body is like one of my favorites forever. I like the Gibson SG, but man, the Jazzmaster and the Jaguar, oh man. Yum. We didn't talk about this. I don't know how we haven't, but I built a Jazzmaster at the local community college.
No way.
I did. It's hanging right here. It's beautiful. It's like glitter bomb paint job. It's just, it's so fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's my favorite body forever. I mean, it's like the shoegaze body, but man, I love that shape. Oh. So, I mean, what do you want to do? What's next?
Well, I don't know what I want to do. It's kind of funny to be a 40-year-old mom in a pandemic and go, I think I want to be a shoegaze artist. I wish I picked something like yoga or candle sales, but I picked shoegaze mom. But I went to Modular on the Mall this summer and met everyone in the DC Modular Collective. And I love them so much. So hi to everybody. That's Barry, Robert, Addo, Patrick.
Yeah.
100 million.
And Synthador's here. Oh my God.
Yep. Whoops! I accidentally revealed Synthador's.
Oh, you did say the name. Starts with a B, ends with an Ari. Yeah.
So I was invited to play what I thought was my first performance in May with Synthador and Wetzel and Marie Hedonia, who is a huge favorite of mine. So I'm going to play live in May, and then Barry from the Synth Collective, our Modular Collective, invited me to play Sonic. Oh my gosh, I'm a little nervous. So Sonic Frontiers in April. So in a month I'll play live for the first time.
I want to be there.
And I'm excited because I get to play with Addo and Heather Stubbins, who's
also
love them
awesome.
Both so much, I feel honored and terrified. So I guess that's what's immediately next.
But that, I mean, this community, I mean, plus you can show up and do like whatever you want. And we're going to think it's great because it's going to be pure and genuine expression.
Yeah, well, get ready, Delmarva, because we're coming in hot with this, only this.
Just press a genre button, you're done.
Yeah.
Just pick a genre for the show.
I'm going to go straight techno because I was really impressed with Black Potion, and I need to know how to make loud bass like that. So someone please.
Well,
help.
I'm sure it's really easy, and all you do is press the techno button on the cat sound.
on the cat.
Simple.
Yes.
Simple. Man, I mean, Patrick will probably have you out too. No pressure. He's right there. Yeah. I mean, Patrick's getting the live show going again pretty soon. He's got his permits straight. So Modular on the Mall is going to be happening this summer.
And I can bring a whole lot of hippie sodas to Modular on the Mall.
Oh my God. What did you give me? It was definitely rhubarb and something. I was like, rhubarb? Which I love, but I was like,
I had run into Trader Joe's like the morning of it, and Trader Joe's just has random tiny cans of things. So I was like, yeah, sure, rhubarb.
Oh, it was so good. I mean, some of it might have been that I was dying, and so like anything would have been good. But man, I could have had 5 of those.
I'll bring you a case.
It was like rhubarb and something funny. It was like radish or something.
Yeah, I think it was lime or cucumber.
Oh, okay. Maybe it was more reasonable.
I'll just pull a little wagon to Modular on the Mall. So plug for Modular on the Mall if you're in the DC area or visiting us this summer.
Absolutely.
It's truly awesome and beautiful, and Patrick and the squad does a really great job.
That location. Oh, yay.
People have weddings there, so sometimes you even get to see a wedding and then
or they get
straight over to Modular.
Yeah, they're like, not quite what I thought for the soundtrack for my wedding day, but okay, you are starting a Modular collective that you wanted to talk about.
I am.
Modular Town, you had mentioned.
Oh, my
not Modular World.
Right.
You were going to do your own thing, Modular Town.
Okay, my competitor franchise. So I would like to start a program called Modular Town, which I've resketched my pitch since I last spoke to you this afternoon.
All right. Let's hear it.
Modular Town is a place where everyone can go that's a new synthesist or a new modular synthesist. And instead of running down the stairs or up the stairs to your partner, your throuple, your wife, your husband.
Throuple.
There's a lot of thruples out there, John.
I know.
This is true. you don't have to plague them with that anymore. Modular Town, you can come run to us and tell us what you just made. And that is the spirit of Modular Town. Did you figure out how to make a beat in Pam's and 4/4 time? Come tell us at Modular Town.
See, I love this community. Okay, Modular Town coming soon. Coming soon. From Tangent Universes.
Absolutely.
Oh, my girl. All right. Thanks so much for coming on.
Thanks, John.
I can't even talk about anything with you. All we do is laugh.
It's always fun to hang out.
All right. Thank you. Here she is, Tangent Universes. Thanks, man. You're the best. All right. We are coming up to the end, but man, it's always a last but not least. Oh, man. I try to always end the show on a high note, and we're going there. I do want to mention really quickly that remind new viewers that this show is just fiercely independent and not any corporate sponsorship. And I do have a Patreon. And second tier patrons for $5 a month get audio downloads of every show. The soundtrack of this show can be yours. If you're not a Patreon kind of person, the join button on YouTube is below, all the same tiers. All right. Thank you for considering supporting this show. A lot of supporters in the chat. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So just how do I set up Balance.Spring? It's just amazing. Okay, here we go. So Balance.Spring is my friend and 6 nights a week gaming partner with Jay Mollerskoff, Mr. Brian Kroll. Brian's based in Seattle, and he's a DevOps engineer by trade, but survives off musical and visual creativity, and boy does he. He's been exploring synthesis, sound design, and music production for nearly 6 years. As his skills have advanced, he's become exponentially motivated to dig further into sound design, music theory, music production, and the technical and electrical engineering behind modular gear. Brian is currently taking weekly music theory lessons with our friend Jay Mollerskoff in the chat, enjoying techno deep dive sessions with Travarsi, who just stepped out for her RV adventure, and learning to code in Python for visual applications, and C++ with a desire to develop modular firmware in the future. Brian was born with a form of spina bifida, which introduced progressive complications to lower body nerve functions, and he eventually became fully wheelchair bound in 2003, nearly 20 years. Over the years, Brian has learned that his impairments are not what is specifically disabling, and in fact have provided many opportunities for amazing experiences, personal growth, and a unique perspective. What is disabling is the energy levels and mental clarity required to navigate society built on legacy ideals which cater solely on the fully able-bodied. Brian's hope is to use his music and performance as not necessarily a means to advocate for anything specific, but to simply bring visibility for disability. Here you go, my friends. This is Balance.Spring.
Disability. 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 Disability is a social construct. Is a social construct. Disability is a social construct. Social construct is a social construct. Disability. Disability is a social construct. Is a social construct. Disability is a social construct. Social construct is a social construct. Social construct, social construct. It's a social construct. It's a social construct, social construct. It's a social construct. Disability is a social construct. Disability. Created by social barriers. Is a social construct. Disability created by social barriers. Is a social construct created by social barriers. Can be eliminated, which barriers can be eliminated, barriers which
Mr. Crawl.
Yes, Jono.
I mean, like, okay. Like, we're supposed to unpack this and talk about it like serious people? Gee, Brian, that was just great.
Just, yeah.
Come on. Ay. I mean, you told me about the concept, I don't know, a month ago.
Yep.
Something you've wanted to do for years. Finally did.
Yeah.
Good for you.
It's just like one of those things it's always been in the back of my mind of like, I gotta try this sometime. And a lot of it actually influenced from Bertolt. From
Bertolt Meyer.
Yeah. And his CV enabled prosthesis, and seeing that, I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Unfortunately, my chair doesn't. It's fully manual, so there's no electrical signals to tap into. So I'm like, okay, how do I do this? And so that's been just like on my mind, trying to find ways. And I actually have a handful of ideas now. And in this one, it was really only just the microphone, but had the microphone mounted down. You could sort of see it in the shot, but down by my feet, like pointing down at the road. Yeah, it was a SM58 or whatever.
Yeah, just a real standard stage mic.
Yeah.
Mounted on the chair, getting the road rumble.
And so that went, I have a little Mikey, the Expert Sleepers amp.
Instrument interface.
That went into Mimeophone, and just turn up the reverb, turn up the Mimeophone crazy, and then then that's it.
But the swirling textures that, I mean, come on, how did you do that?
So a lot of that is from the Melodis Versio from Noise Engineering. And it's always been one that like I've dabbled with, and then like I haven't really gotten it to do too much exciting. It finally clicked on this one for some reason. I think I just had the modulation set up perfectly. But I think I was sweeping the tone as well as the blend of that. And so that was end of chain. So everything went through Melodis Versio and then into Desmodus Versio. So the two Versios. So it's just like you get the weird stereo panning and things from the Melodis, and then the crazy reverb.
God, it's just the ear candiest candy. I was like, my God.
And then I would manually like bring it in and out, like wet dry at times to pull it back in. So
what was the vocal sample from? Oh, sorry.
So that was from a video about the social theory of disability. God, that's not exactly it. I will share a link, but I haven't, over the years, I haven't really, I don't know, given too much thought about my disability, which sounds weird, but I've just kind of, hey, it is, here it is, and go with the flow. And seeing this was an interesting perspective of like, some of the barriers that we run into. It's not that, I don't know. It doesn't have to be that way, I guess. And it's a different way of thinking about approaching design and inclusion, and not just to benefit those with mobile impairments, but everybody. It's like an inclusive way. So the social model of disability, that's what it's called. So there, you just search on that, and there's a bunch of content out there about it. So
it's so interesting. Like, we think about like, does this restaurant have a ramp? does this place have a door wide enough to, for you to get in? But then like you and I were just talking last night or night before about, you're going to come out to San Diego and hang out, right?
Mm-hmm.
Great. Awesome. That'll be awesome. We can come up here and play some. Oh, wait a second.
Yeah.
I didn't, it's like my studio is upstairs. How will I, and it's like, we forget, you don't forget. Like I forget that people come over to my house. We come up these stairs and we hang out here and play with synths. And I'm like, So I asked you like, yeah, how are we going to do that?
Well, we get creative.
Right. So I bring stuff downstairs, not a big deal, but it's like, just things like that. I'm like, oh yeah, right.
Yeah. And again, like I said in the bio, I'm not here to preach anything. That's not my MO. I'm like, and especially like with you and your house, it's like, of course, I'm not expecting, everyone to have that in mind all the time, but it's more just like just bringing more visibility. You see Absolutely. More of it. I think there's a lot more people than we know, who run into these barriers, and you don't see much representation of that, like in media and music as well. It's like, if we see it more, then it just becomes normal.
Right. Well, I recall you sent a video for, like, when did it was for the anniversary show last year?
Yeah.
Right. And you and I hadn't talked about anything. And I got this video and I'm like, oh. Right. And it's like you're right. Like we don't, like we assume, or I'll just speak just for myself. I assume that everybody isn't in wheelchairs.
Yeah.
Right. So the assumption is that we're all just kind of come upstairs. Let's play with synths now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
I saw the video and I'm like, it's in a wheelchair.
Yeah. 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 And it's interesting now too, with like webcams, especially even like working remotely and such, like, you can't really even see. So, I mean, in a way it's like, well, okay, I guess it's an equalizer, but anyway. Yeah.
God, it's just fascinating stuff. I mean, you and I have talked about it a lot. Yeah. I've just really, I mean, thank you for like opening my mind and bringing this stuff out like that. It's just really important.
Cool.
Yeah. So important.
Thanks for having me on, man.
Well, hey, come on. We're not done here, sir. You're not sneaking away. Now, Jay in the chat, Jay wanted us to just talk about our video game playing right now.
Oh, boy.
And we're not going to do that.
No.
Although I am really looking forward to tonight, because
there is a lot of crafting to do, so we can talk about that
tonight. We've got a serious situation going on in the game, so I'm really excited to see that happen.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to bore everybody with this stuff. So where did you shoot this? Out on the Sound, right?
Yeah, in Seattle. It was in West Seattle at a Lincoln Park, which is pretty big park along the water, obviously, but great views of the Sound, of the Olympic Mountains, and it's always, I got lucky with this, but I had I pretty much had one day to shoot this, like one opportunity, because around this time, it's Seattle, it's been rainy and overcast, and I knew I wanted to try and get the sunset because they're epic over the mountains.
Yeah.
And
God, you nailed that.
Yeah, and so I kept watching the weather, and saw, it was like last Tuesday or whenever, it was like 2 weeks ago. One day out of the week, all right, that's when I'm going out, and then pretty much had like a 15-minute window to get it right, because the sun is like right at the right on the horizon. So this was actually the second take. I kind of messed around with the first one and then gave it another go, and I'm glad I did.
But like when I think about all the plates that I've got spinning when I'm working a patch,
Yeah.
And then when I think about what you've got going out there, it's like, it's pretty humbling, man. Because like you've got 7U strapped on your, like strapped over your
literally
lap.
strapped on.
Literally strapped.
I had a strap going around my waist and clamped onto the onto the sides because I'm whipping the chair around, and I could feel it want to, like, centrifugal force. It would have just gone flying if I didn't.
You got a microphone strapped on the chair. You got this big boom arm coming out with a camera.
Yeah.
Bravo, dude.
Thank you.
And all the while making awesome music. Yeah. Like, let's not forget that part.
So it definitely, like, I had to plan this. There was
maybe just a little. Yeah.
I had the patch done about 2 weeks prior and was just practicing it for like a week straight and go through it. So because I wanted it to be kind of like, it was still very much like when I was actually doing it, I was just like reaching for things. I don't know how to do that, and a little bit of that, and but that's kind of what I wanted to get to, is just like, so I didn't have to think about it. So.
Oh my God, it's such props, man. I mean, props is even a lame word, right? It's like kudos, props, dude. I don't know what to say.
I got it.
Just such an honor, man. Thank you. Paradiddle16 says Blood Moon.
Yeah.
We have somebody who knows the game that we're playing.
Yeah.
You're right,
Day
Paradiddle.
7's coming up.
Tonight is a Blood Moon, and we have built the sweetest horde base. You wouldn't even believe it. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, we'll just leave it at that.
Everyone can guess.
But I do look forward to playing later. It's going to be a good one.
Yep.
Okay, off you go, man. Thank you so much. Thanks so much.
Yeah.
It's just an honor.
Have a good one.
All right, here is Balance.Spring right here. Thanks, man. Wow. Okay, we are going to I just want to do some housekeeping again. I want to talk about the important project that's coming out of Wales, out of Modulate TV. All right. I talked about this at the top of the show, and I just want to make sure I hit it again because it's super important. Thanks for indulging me. Okay, here we go. So this is called Volya, is the Ukrainian word for will and freedom. This is a compilation that our friends from North Wales, Modulate TV, Rob Dixon, Etch-a-Sketch, Sword Swinging Robot, and friends have released, originally conceived by Waxapole, who's Paul Alty, approached Modulate to put out a compilation fundraiser to support Ukraine. It was released this Friday, and they have raised £600, and they would like to raise £1,000. They're going to release volume 2 if there's enough interest. And these guys are just such hard workers. I love you guys. So the links are below. Please, everybody listening, if you all went and supported this project, they would hit their goal. It's just that simple. It's a wonderful compilation of 25 tracks. I've been playing it in the car. It just sounds great in the car. All right. There we go. Next Sunday is the Spotlight on Belgium show that our brother Jerome Mardaga Tamil has curated for us. Thank you, Mr. Mardaga. Working with you is always a pleasure. And next Sunday, a week from today, what a special show. I also announced early on, for those of you who might have missed it, that the second anniversary show is May 14 and 15. And it's an open call. I'm not curating it. It's an open call. I'd love you to be on the show. If you played last year, I don't mind. Love to have you back. If you wanted to play, here's your chance. If you're new to the community, I want to play the anniversary show. Great. Sign up. I'll close signups after 130 people do that. That'll probably happen pretty quickly. So I'm going to put the link in right now to the sign up form. All right. I'm going to release this on social later tonight. But if you'd like to get the jump and sign up, here's the link. Boom. Okay. Please read the guidelines really clearly. I would like you to only sign up if you really do intend on playing, because you will take the spot from somebody who wants to play. Any genre is welcome. Obviously, any combination of equipment, I don't care. Please just come and make some music. 10 minutes is the... I can't talk. 10 minutes is the maximum amount for your set. Thank you. And that's it. We'll close out this show with the music that we came in with, which is the new release from Plush Elder Gods that comes out on the 8th. This week. It's not out yet. You're hearing music that's not released yet. Thank you for allowing me to play this release, Plush Elder Gods. The link to their Bandcamp is below. You can follow that and you'll get the alert when this wonderful record comes out. Let me just double check that I've covered everything. I think I have. All right. We'll see you next Sunday for the Spotlight on Belgium show. Thank you so much, Red Stripe Down, Black Potion, Hynadelux, Tangent Universes, and Balance.Spring for being part of this really special show. I love you guys. Okay? We'll see you next Sunday, my friends. And just like that, we're done.
Mm-hmm.